Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Bernica Wolf here, and I'm coming to you from the airport. I'm about to get on a flight, and it's a somewhere secret actually. Guess in the comments where I'm going to. Yeah, I remember a few months ago I said that I have a little surprise coming up for you guys, and it's definitely here. I'm gonna be gone for a little bit, and I'm gonna be honestly, traveling all around a certain continent. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of trusting your gut. I can first talk about my relationship with my gut. So, I would say that ever since I was a child, I've had really strong instincts and gut instincts, and I feel like just a very strong spiritual connection to the earth, you could say. And as I've grown older, been so many situations in the past where I hadn't trusted my gut instincts, and almost every single time when I didn't trust my gut instincts, I ended up facing the consequences. And I say almost every single time because there's been so many times where I would feel a gut instinct, and sometimes I would go with it, sometimes I would go against it, but I wouldn't necessarily see the outcomes, or I wouldn't at least think that I saw the outcomes, right? And also, I feel like the gut instincts that I get, they vary in strength. So sometimes, I get these really strong, overwhelming kind of feelings that are you know, sometimes danger, or, telling me to do something. And especially those ones I've learned to heed and to follow, because I've gotten myself into some pretty unfortunate situations every single time I haven't listened to them. And I'm sure I've saved myself from many unpleasant situations by listening to them. And one way, or one area, I would say that my gut instincts have really honed and really like kicked in for me, or at least an area where I really trust my gut and really have been able to hone my gut instinct is when it comes to people. Yeah, I mean, when I look back, you know, middle school, high school, I don't remember that much of elementary, but I'm sure elementary as well, but especially middle school and high school, there were certain people that I had really strong gut feelings about. And back then, sometimes I would listen, but the times that I didn't listen, I ended up paying a heavy price. And the thing is looking at it now, as an adult, as someone who's older, I realized that the price that I paid, honestly, wasn't even that bad compared to what it could have been, And thankfully, the gut instincts with those people, they were always there, and over time, they just continued to get stronger and stronger. And even then, I still ended up listening to it at a certain point. Things escalated, but I still ended up paying attention to it. I guess the best example that I can give of this is when I was in university, I made friends with a bunch of girls separately, and then eventually a group of girls, and one girl in particular. When I met her, I literally had a flash. It was so weird. Okay, so we were all living on the same floor. I open the door, and I see her standing there, but before I see her standing there, I just get a flash in my head of this girl that I used to know, the girl who was the main person bullying me. I talked about it in my video, the darker season comes before the light. And I just remembered, yeah, my gut feeling just had a really horrible, feeling to it. It was really strong. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna heed it, right? I'm gonna take caution, but I'm gonna still continue. And so, me and this girl got to know each other. We ended up becoming actually really good friends. And to make a long story short, as we became better friends and as we became closer, I started seeing her true colors more and more. And she ended up being a very scary person. She's actually like the person who I dealt with, and like honestly, my experience with her was literally so traumatizing. All of this to say is that my gut instincts were correct, and I knew that this girl was dangerous. Like as soon as I met her, and I didn't really listen to myself. But as time went on, her true colors revealed herself, and yeah, I learned my lesson there. And after that, I was really like so much more intentional and so much more like just tuned into my gut. And I can think of another story where I met a girl, and it was so weird. Like I don't think I've ever really felt a connection like this with someone until recently, perhaps, where it was just so intense. Like we'd met each other, and it was just so intense. Okay, and like I feel like sometimes when you meet people and like if there's like a mutual attraction, it's like super intense. Like it wasn't even that. Like it was just there was just this weird intensity, and I think that my gut was kind of off balance. Like I couldn't really get a read on her, which is unique for me because I'm pretty decent at reading people. And so I just remember that like at first I kind of didn't really think too much of it. But I remember then we hung out, and honestly the first time that we hung out, I remember we were sitting and we were talking like in her living room, and I was like, you know, just us two, there was like music playing, and I just remember in my gut feeling being like something is wrong with this person, like something is off. And again, I kind of just like, you know, kind of just ignored it honestly. And at this point I was journaling, and so I started like, recording all of this stuff. I'm pretty sure I even have these gut feelings like from the beginning of a relationship for sure. But as time went on, my gut feeling was getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And I literally, like my gut, like literally told me, if you hang around this person, then you will, like this person is going to bring harm to you, literally. And that is like not a normal feeling that you get around people. Or at least that's not a normal feeling that I get around people. And so time goes on, and I feel like there was just such an internal battle within myself. I was trying to like distance myself from her, but it was also just so weird because I was also just really, really, really like magnetized towards her. I mean, it was like definitely like a mutual thing, but like I just really like it was so hard for me to like break away from her. Like it was a really weird friendship, guys. It was really weird. Like honestly, when I look back at everything, with everything that I eventually found out, like this person was severely unhealthy and honestly really scary. Like there was like a whole, we had like a whole discussion about this because she kind of did a bunch of stuff to like a group of us, and I wasn't part of their friend group, but I like knew them, and we ended up talking about this, and it was crazy because I was like doing this thinking alone just from my personal experience with her, and as time went on, I was seeing more and more and more of her, and oh my goodness, like literally some of the stuff like was terrifying, guys. I remember there was one situation where she was like talking about me. Like I was at her house and her roommates were there, and she was talking about me, but she didn't think that like I could hear her. And just like the tone that she was using, just like the way that she was talking, guys, I'm telling you, it was so terrifying. I was like, it was literally like a different voice. Seriously, it was like a different voice, and I was just like really, really terrified. And then of course, as soon as I reappear, she like completely switches back and just continued as if nothing happened. And yeah, that was scary. But all of this is to say, eventually with this girl, I ended up finding literally an ounce, like just an ounce of some of the stuff she did, and it was already like really terrifying and scary. And there's all types of people out here. Like, I was talking about how I spoke with her former friend group, and I was thinking on my own, they were thinking, I guess, collectively as well as on their own. And both groups, me and them, came to like not necessarily the conclusion, but we both were like, there's something seriously wrong with her. Like, I don't know, like, if she's like a psychopath or something, but seriously, like, and I don't use that word lightly. Like, this person was like not okay. And so this video isn't just to bash people. It's not just to, let's talk, former people in my life. No. What I'm trying to say is sometimes you really have to, like, honestly, not even sometimes. Think about it. How often do you get very strong, triggered gut feelings, okay? The likelihood for most people is rarely. Like for me, I rarely get those feelings. I meet a bunch of people all the time. I don't get those strong gut feelings often. And so when I do, I really, really, really try to listen. And recently I've been going through many situations that have been tough, but one in particular, and yeah, it's been hard, but one thing that I'm doing is I'm trusting my gut. And one thing I will say is my gut has been consistent all along. And before, when I was younger and, with a lot of people, I would kind of wait until I started seeing kind of blazing red flags before I started to actually adhere to my gut and leave the situations. But I've learned from time and time again that my gut is worth trusting. And yeah, sometimes you just need to take a leap of faith. Sometimes you just need to trust yourself, trust your gut, especially, and that's what you have to do sometimes. And it's difficult because sometimes, you try to like rationalize it away. You try to, you try to tell yourself that it's going to be okay, that like you're just overreacting or something like this. But no, I've learned my lesson enough times to heed the warnings that come from my body, and from my biological architecture. Like, I spoke about this in my video about I almost died today, but I saved myself. And talking about how in the car with that man, the Uber driver, how my gut was going crazy. Okay, guys, I've taken hundreds of Ubers, seriously. I've taken hundreds of Ubers, like hundreds of Ubers, probably like 1,000 taxis in my lifetime. Maybe not 1,000, but you get the point. Like, I have a huge sample to pull from, but seldom have I ever felt that level of hyper awareness, of angst, of uncomfortability, and just with this person's presence. And again, as I said in this video, your gut is one of the things that has kept like our ancestors alive literally throughout human history. It's like 10,000 years old or something like this. So guys, start paying attention to it. And yeah, currently I'm taking a huge leap of faith. I'm trusting my gut. I'm leaving a situation that my gut has just told me is not for me, and it's not a healthy place. It's not a healthy situation for me. It's not a safe situation for me. And I'm not gonna wait until really bad things happen to me for me to be like, maybe I should start trusting my gut now. No. I'm saving myself harm and trouble and getting out clean while I can, And when I look back at all of the other relationships that I've had, or like situations that I had with my gut, and when I didn't leave early, when I really kind of put my gut to the side and waited for things to develop and things to worsen, and only waited until I started seeing blazing red flags to act. I faced heavy consequences, you know, and yeah, I trust myself and I trust my gut, and so, you know, we'll see where this takes me, but I feel like, guys, this is my maktub, you know, this is my destiny. And I know that ultimately is best for me, even though this decision doesn't seem to make sense to a lot of people. For a lot of people, it wouldn't make sense to them, but I'm not a lot of people, and it's my life, you know, literally. And at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to pay the consequence either way. And that's the beauty of life. So, guys, of course, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know some new video ideas that you would love to see. And wish me a safe flight. Bisous.